Again, Gabe Zollner. Just noticed a very interesting article on Western Centered Journalism. Teamsters President Jimmy Hoffa predicts a civil war. Now, that's really interesting. He said that there will be a civil war in Michigan. There is a battle that has divided the sides, and the state should be the one that determines their future outcome. What he said that the lame duck session, he's referring to the Republicans during the lame duck session, went ahead and slammed this change in the way people are going to do business in Michigan through with less than 5 days from the beginning until the end. He also said that it should be put on the ballot and let the people of Michigan decide. Well, the problem with putting anything on the ballot is what we've learned in the 2012 election, which is what we also learned in the 2008 election, is it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because people stuff the ballots. They get people to vote that are ineligible to vote. They get people to vote numerous times. So our electoral system doesn't work anymore. You know, it probably hasn't worked for an awful long time, but it's become most evident recently when Obama won 108% of the vote in certain districts, or like in Florida where a district that only had 7 registered voters generated 900 votes. Well, you extrapolate that across the United States and, you know, the votes really don't matter. Your vote no longer counts. So what he also said is that states that do have a right to work end up being last in education. He's referring to states like Mississippi and Texas. And he said if people want good jobs, then what they have to do is they have to have the unions there to support them. And he made a number of misstatements, or I would call them lies actually. He said that people that work in those kinds of states, they generally make more money. Well, that's not what I've just learned. Typically, a state that allows people to choose whether or not they want to join a union, the average worker makes $49,000, $49,400 and some odd dollars, whereas in states where they're controlled by unions, they make around $42,000 some odd $100, and that doesn't include the cost of their union fees. See, what's really happened is no different than what's happened with our Congress. We've allowed certain people to get into positions of power. I mean, what happened to Jimmy Hoffa's daddy? I mean, we still don't know, do we? But anyway, we allowed people to get into positions of power, and then they never want to let go. I'm sure that Jimmy Hoffa is in the 1%ers in this country, as are most representatives of the unions, especially the presidents of the unions. So they don't want to let go. And, you know, you can't really blame them. They're no different than McCain or Dianne Feinstein. They don't want to let go either. They've already made millions and millions of dollars, but with them it's ego. They're driven by power. They're driven by prestige. They're driven by, look at me. And the problem is they have forgotten who put them there. They forgot the American people. Once again, there was a time when unions were important, but that time is long gone. And what has to happen is honest business people have to hire honest employees that are willing to do an honest day's work. It's totally wrong to have somebody on an assembly line doing half the output that another person is doing on that same assembly line, yet they make the same amount of money because they're protected by the unions. I mean, that's totally insane. That is against the American way. Now, again, there was a time when unions were beneficial, but like the dodo bird, their time has come and gone. And they know it, and unions are a tremendous way of funneling money. And they funneled hundreds of millions of dollars to the party of their choice. And guess what the party of their choice always is? Democrats. Anyway, I'm hoping that people wake up in other states and people recognize that people should be free to choose what they want to do. Employers shouldn't be allowed to be blackmailed. And if someone doesn't pull their same weight, they should be fired. It's really that simple. So it all starts with firing the unions. And I think we've got that pretty much under control. We still need to fire a couple of other people. And there's one in particular in Pennsylvania Avenue. Hopefully, that'll come to fruition. Hopefully, the judges in Florida and in Alabama will demand release of his documents, and when he does that, the rest will be history. Thanks.